Hello there, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Knocks to Nuggets. Again, my name is Oluwayomi Uta, and it's such a joy to come your way this beautiful morning. And we thank God for the gift of life. We're here today because we have life, and we do not take it for granted at all. And thank you to every single person joining me live. Thank you so much for giving me a share of your time. I do not take it for granted. And like I always ask you, please like the video, share it. Let somebody out there know that there is something called Nuts to Nuggets. Let's build this community together. And this beautiful day, we are continuing on our series, Maximizing the Holiday Season. Parenting, maximizing the holiday season. And my guest is back with me in the house. We started last week and is back again in the house. And just as a refresher, is a dynamic speaker, is an author, is a clinical psychologist, is a life coach, and a spiritual shepherd who has worked in various spaces, motivating families, motivating children, building wholesome families, and building relationship between parents and children. Is many things in one, but we'll save it for today so we can delve straight into the matter. Please receive back on stage with me, Miracle Ihuoma. Hey, glad to have you back in the house.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here once again. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here and continuing from last week. And last week we landed by saying that we must have a family vision, and from there have family values. And I said this day we're going to start off by talking about family vision, because yes, holiday season is here. How do we craft the family vision? How do we bring out the family value? And how do we make this holiday season, it's the long holiday, the summer holiday, memorable for both the parents and the children? Now, let's bear in mind the fact that we're talking about a wide range of children here, from the 0 to 18 to 21 to 30 to what age? Everyone that is a child, even me, I'm still a child to my parents. If they were alive, I would still go looking for them, cuddling and saying, hey, daddy, hey, mommy, what's up? So children is really a broad spectrum, but across the various age groups, how do we maximize the season? Starting from building or crafting the family vision. Over to you, Miracle.
All right, ma'am. Thank you very much for that question. So now that we have established the need for a family vision, this is the very best time to do that. If you have children already, you want to maybe involve them in
Yeah,
crafting that family vision. Especially if they have age and they can think for themselves, you want to involve them
yeah.
in crafting that vision. If not, if you don't have children yet or you have children who are very little, you want to do that with your spouse to say, okay, where do we see this family?
Mm.
What do we want to achieve with this family? And our family vision,
Hello there. Am I losing you? Am I losing you? Hello, can you hear me?
has about
Okay.
4 different parts in crafting a family vision. Right.
Sorry, Miracle. We lost you for a bit. Can you rewind like 10 seconds?
Can you still hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you now. So I said that the family vision has 4 parts in creating a vision, any type of vision for that matter, particularly the family vision here. There are 4 parts to creating that. You have to first of all identify the identity you want to create. Then you want to talk about the identity qualifier. Then you want to talk about the spin. Then you want to talk about the primary target and the secondary target. Now, of course, that would differ from person to person. So, what is identity? Identity is okay, who do we want to be in this family? That's the first thing you want to ask yourself. Okay, do we want to be do we want to be what do we want to be friends? Do we want to be a community? Do we want to be a nation? That's the identity. And then what will qualify that identity? What will qualify that identity can now be okay, we want to be a community of friends who are world changers, who are role models, who are kingdom minded. Now that's the identity qualifier. And then you then move on to the spin. So what would then, be like that spin that talks about, that bridges a gap between the identity and the identity qualifier, and then your
Mm.
primary and secondary audience. So that could be something like, okay, I want to create a family, a community of friends that are world changers who would bring about maybe impact or change, or who would be loving or what have you. That's like the spin. And then you now want to ask, okay, who would then be the primary target of this vision? Would it be okay? So it can now be members of your own family. It can now be say, okay, who will create this change in this impact in the community? Um, and so if you say community, for instance, or if you say who will bring about change, in the lives of members of this family, that would be the primary target. And then the secondary target would now be any other person who you want that vision to impact. It could be the world, it could be the country, it could be other families, it could be other children, whatever it is. But that's how to craft a vision. You need to identify the identity qualifier, the spin, the primary target, and the secondary target. That's how to create a vision. And you want to sit down and ask yourself those set of questions. Most importantly, who do we want to be? What do we want to achieve? Those two questions will at least begin to give you an idea of what your family vision is. Who are we? And then who do we want to be, and what do we want to achieve? Where do we see our family when this family is no longer in existence, or let's say in the next 100, 200 years? What will be the legacy we want to leave? That should give you an idea of what your family vision should
Hmm. Thank you
be.
so much. That's a whole
Thank
lot
you so
everyone
much.
needs to deal with.
So much, everyone.
I'm wondering, we're having a
I'm
feedback on
wondering, we're having a
this morning, but we'll get by
we'll,
it.
we'll, we'll get by it.
We'll get by it. So look, I haven't talked about the family vision, and last week talked a bit about the family values. What do we then do in this season? How do we ensure that we make the most of this season, that the children, whatever the age group, resume school in September and are excited that they had a good time out at this period?
Could you repeat the question again?
What then do we
What
do?
then do we do?
In short, how do we maximize the season?
Maximize the season. Because every holiday season should be an opportunity to bond with children. Every holiday season should be an opportunity to impact, because a lot of parents, holiday season for them, is not the most fun filled season, because that's when the children are home, they're disturbing them, and all of that, putting a lot of pressure on them. So they really don't like the holiday season. So they look for ways to just engage the children sharp, even with things that are not relevant, or with things that are not needed. You just want to engage them. Yes, children should be engaged in the holiday season, but you want to be laser focused as to how you engage them. You want to make sure that whatever it is you're engaging them with and in is something that is tailored towards your family vision. It's something that aligns with your family values. Yes. So if, say, for your instance, your children, you want to imbibe a set of values, you want to imbibe certain things in them, you want to then engage them in that direction. If, for instance, you see that your child has certain potentials, let's say they have a love for sports, and this season is an opportunity to engage them in that direction. Yeah, to further equip them in the direction of their purpose, in the direction of their vision, in the direction of who they are, rather than just engaging them aimlessly. Yeah, so you want to spot the talent, spot the potential in each of your children, and then engage them appropriately and accordingly to what you have spotted, not just aimlessly just engaging them anyhow. No, engage them uniquely. So it then means that if you have three children, they don't have to go to the same kind of training. It means
Mm.
they don't have to go to the same type of places. No, each child should be tailored. And that's why I've said that one of the greatest lies people have told is to tell parents to treat their children the same. You cannot treat your children the same because they are not the same. They have different potentials, they have different personalities, they have different love languages. So they are different in their makeup. So that in itself tells you that you can't treat them the same way. So you have to engage each person based on the potentials that they have, based on their personalities, and based on their needs. That's how you engage them. Yes, there'll be generic things you engage them in at home, right? But then they have to be specific things you also engage them. That's one way to maximize your holiday season. And of course, like I said, it's an opportunity to bond with your children. It's an opportunity to spend quality time and quantity time with your children, right? Because during school calendar, you might not be able to do that as much as is needed. But now this is an opportunity to do that. Yeah, to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to spend 2 hours with my children every day, just maybe bonding with them, teaching them something, whatever it is. But make sure that you craft much more time than you would normally do to spend with your children in this holiday season. That's one way you want to engage them. Yeah, you want to make sure that it's productive, and then when they are resuming back to school, they have learned something, they have become better, and they are making progress.
I hear you, but I'm wondering how practical is it really in this time and season that we are in with the economy and all? How practical is it to actually engage each child uniquely? So you have three children, three group, three different views, three different loves, three different hobbies. How practical really is it for the parent to engage them uniquely?
Yeah, that's why you are not the one that might need to engage them directly. So, for instance, if my child likes sports, it's not like, okay, I would be the one training him or playing, let's say, football with him every day. No, I send him to maybe a football club or something that he can get trained, he can get equipped for that. If another one likes music, I want to register them for maybe music school, these 3 months where they can go just equip themselves and sharpen their skills. If another one likes, say, fashion designing, I want to get them into a fashion designing um, structure for them to learn about that and then improve their skills. So that's how you want to engage them. It's not like, okay, you as a parent has to be the one to call them together and start engaging each of them in. They are experts in those fields. If, for instance, there's a need and you see that, okay, my child even has a need in, say, discipline, yeah, of course, that is one of the ways you want to engage them. Or even at that, there are still experts that you can engage outside of yourself. That is, okay, my child is having this. What can we do? Can we? I've had parents, for instance, bring their children to me and say, please, I want you to achieve this with my children because this and this is happening with them. And I engage the children, right? And the parents as well. So that's something that the parents want to do. It doesn't mean you have to be the one, carrying out the load and doing everything. You want to outsource as much as you can to other experts, in the fields that your children need this help in.
I hear you, and thank you for that clarity. The fact that you can outsource, so you are not jack of all trades. You can't do it all. But even with your outsourcing, you want to have quality and quantity time with your children. A good time out, no matter your schedule. In this holiday season, you want to squeeze out some more time to be with these children. But I'm still on this thing about maximizing this holiday season with the children. Now, yes, they go to these various schools, they go to all of these things to learn. Where How do we ensure, I'm trying to phrase it right. Now, there are three children, three needs, three different things, and you are sending them to three different things. You still want to have this family bonding time. What what are there other activities as a family that we can engage in? Not disciplining, not what other things can we do as a family to ensure this bond?
Yes, there is a lot that can be done, right? So, of course, there are family games that you can play together. So you can go out together, depending on how your schedule. You can say once a week we'll go out together Just go someplace, maybe eat out, maybe go to a park somewhere, go to resorts, just go somewhere with your family and have fun together. You can do indoor games as well. There are many indoor games that you can play together. There's Ayo, there's Ludo, there is Scrabble, there is all of
Yeah.
those things that you can really do together. These are things that you can use to bond with your children, right? Even till now, when I go see my mom, we play Ludo together because my mom likes playing Ludo. So we play Ludo. That's one of the things that makes her happy. That okay, we are playing Ludo together, right? So those are things that you can do to actually bond with your children. There are many activities that you can do. There are games. If you even search online and say, okay, family friendly games, you will see a lot of them like that you can engage and do just to have that time with your children and with your family as a whole.
Yeah, thank you for that. The family games, particularly, and I recall growing up, all the Ludo, particularly. And one of my brothers loved chess, so he would come sit down and teach all of us, as many as are interested, how to play chess and all of that. And it was a good bonding time for us. But there's this myth I want you to address. Still talking about this maximizing the season with the children. People say parents should not be friends with their children, because if you are friends with them, then you cannot correct them. Others says, no, 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 no. You must be friends with the children, otherwise you don't know what to do. Where exactly is this middle line about parents, friendship, and their children?
I think parents should be friends with their children. Yeah, you should be friends with your children. Um, so it's friends being friends with your children, meaning that you have to create a rapport with them. You have to have a working relationship with them. Because it's when you are friends with your children that they can actually be vulnerable and open to you about certain things. Because especially when they are transiting into the teenage years, you want to cultivate that a lot. Because that's when they want to begin to have a sense of independence. So because they want to begin to have a sense of independence from 10 upwards, they would keep certain things away from you. They want to keep secrets. They want to speak to their people they consider friends. Those are the people they want to talk to about things. So if they don't see you as someone who is a friend, even though you're a parent, they might not tell you some things. They will tell you only what you need to hear, only what you can handle, only what they think you can handle. That's what they will share with you. So you need to be friends. However, I understand what people who say, "Oh, don't be friends with your children," are trying to say, and that's where I say that, and you, as a parent, you don't necessarily have to be the best friend of your children. That's the
Mm.
philosophy I don't agree with. It's when people say, "Be your child's best friend." I say, no, you don't have to be your child's best friend, right? Let them have their best friends. Be your child's friend. That's enough. So be a friendly parent. Why is that so? Because number one, when you're your child's best friend, you deprive them of the opportunity to also develop friendships and social skills for themselves and within their age group. One. Number two, when you say, I'm my child's best friend, what you're also saying, it deprives you also of the opportunity to play the most important role in your child's life, which is being a parent. Because your child can have many friends, but they can only have one parent. They
Mm.
cannot have any other apart from you. So if you relegate that role and say, "Oh, I want to be my child's friend," then there is going to be a loophole. So you want to be a parent that is friendly, because your primary role in your child's life is a parent, not a friend, right? So you are only a parent that is friendly, and it plays out even in different facets of life. You are, for instance, a leader, but you can be friendly. So it doesn't mean that the people you are leading are your friends, no, or they are your best friends. You can be a friendly leader, but you cannot say, okay, I'm going to relegate my leadership role and responsibility and then begin to be best friends with the people I'm leading. No, you want to be a friendly leader. You want to be a relatable person. You want to be a person that they can, talk to. But you want to also allow them have their best friends. You want to allow them have friends as well, because that is important. Because there are parents who say, "Oh, I'm my child's best friend." What that does is that it can make one slip into permissive parenting. Permissive parenting is, okay, you can do whatever you like. I'm your friend. Just do whatever it is that you like. It doesn't matter. You, as long as you tell me whatever it is you do, it doesn't matter. No, that's not the best kind of parenting, because there are three kinds of parenting. There's permissive parenting, authoritarian parenting, and authoritative parenting. Permissive parenting is do whatever you like. I'm permitted to do whatever it is you like. I'm passive, right? The authoritarian is you can't do whatever you like. You have to do what I say. There is no relationship in that parenting, right? But authoritative is a healthy balance, a healthy bridge between permissive and authoritarian that says, you know what, I'm going to be there for you as a parent, and I'm going to give you instructions. I'm going to, there are going to be rules, but also there's also going to be a relationship, because rules without relationship will lead to rebellion, and relationship without rules will lead to chaos.
Hmm. I like where you landed it. Relationship without, oh wow, relationship without discipline will lead to what? Chaos, really. Because the truth of the matter is this, and I'm enjoying what I'm hearing. A lot of us have struggled. I had an experience recently with a 3-year-old who says to me, I have a secret group where we say things amongst ourselves that only friends can hear and not for adults. And I'm like, you have a secret group, only friends can hear, not for adults? Say yes. I said, okay, but I'm also a child. Can I join that secret group? Say, no, you're too big. You are big. You can't be in that group. It's only for us children. Say, me, I'm also a child, though. On Children's Day, I'm also get celebrated because my parents celebrate me. I'm also a child. Says, really? It's okay, so let's get into that secret group. What about that secret group? That's a 3-year-old. And that tells me why parents, you just need to be able to assert certain things, but be friends. And like you said, you don't have to be their best friends, but be friendly enough that they can tell you any and everything, and also be able to take it in without expressing shock. Now, let me come back to you on this thing about being friendly, being vulnerable. It's the challenge most parents have. We want to be the best students in your set, so no child should fail. You are the A++ student all through your life. You never made mistakes. You don't want to. You are afraid of being vulnerable. Lest the child tells you, "But mom, you also did this, so why can't I also do this?" How do we manage vulnerability, in particularly with this very knowledgeable generation?
Awesome question, really. And really, what every parent needs to do is just like you said, we need to be vulnerable, because vulnerability calls for vulnerability. Yeah. In the presence of rapport, anything is possible. So you want to create a rapport with your children, and one of the ways you do that is through self-disclosure. What is self-disclosure? Self-disclosure is disclosing a part of yourself that is vulnerable, so that your children can also be vulnerable, so they can elicit vulnerability from your children. Because if your children see you as Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, if they see you as a Superman, superhero, somebody who has never made a mistake, they would they would develop perfectionism, right, as a characteristics. In fact, some of them might ultimately become discouraged perfectionists. What that means is that they will try to be perfect. They will try in their possible best to be perfect. And at the end of the day, because they can't be perfect, they will now realize that, okay, I can't really meet up with this, and they'll become discouraged perfectionists. That would then make them to have cognitive dissonance, in the sense that there would be a dissonance, a sharp divergence in how what they are thinking and how they are feeling, because they know that there is a difference between who they want to be and who they currently are. And that's something that you have created as a parent in their lives, by trying to make them perfect, or trying to make them feel like life is about perfectionism. No, nobody can supply, no human being can supply perfect behavior, right? As long as we are in this side of eternity, we will never be perfect. And that's what you create when you try to make your children feel like, oh, you didn't make any mistake. You got all A's. You came first all through. You were a virgin before you got married. You never made any mistake at all. All of that makes them feel like, oh, they have to live up to that expectation. And when they can't, they come to a point where there is a serious identity issue that they begin to struggle with, because you have created that expectation. However, as a parent, you can let them know that it's okay to make mistakes, right? It's okay because I have made mistakes too. You let them know the mistakes that you have made, right? Age appropriately. You let them know bit by bit. Okay, yeah, when I was in SS2, I made this mistake. Oh, I kissed this boy. Let them know too that you did some of these things. And they'll be like, oh, mommy, really? You say yes. And then that can be an opportunity, number one, to bond better with your child, and number two, to actually draw lessons or teach them something. To say, okay, I kissed this boy, but I now realize that, it was wrong of me to have done that. Because when I did that, this now happened and that now happened. I think that I should have done a bit better, now that I know better. And that's why I'm telling you these things so that you won't also make that same mistake. But whatever it is that you're struggling with, however it is you're feeling, please feel free to let me know. Now, that is creating a relationship, creating rapport with your child, and being vulnerable with them so that you can elicit that same vulnerability from them as well.
Hmm. But now, my mind is throwing a lot of questions up. I'm looking at time. However, let's address this. Assuming I'm a parent, now I have made these mistakes. I don't have my children as the friends I really want them to be to me. How do I turn back the hand of the clock and repair that relationship? Now we're entering the holiday season. How do I really turn back the hand of the clock and make things better?
It really depends on how old your child is, to be honest. The age of your child, I mean, the extent to the success you would have with trying to create a relationship if you already haven't. So the personality of a child is fully formed from maybe the age of 10 or so, fully formed. And if you haven't created a relationship, well, you still have hope, but it is slimmer than somebody who has a child of maybe 5 or 6 or 7, right? And if your child, for instance, is 18, your chances are slimmer, you know,
Hmm.
because we say parenting is an 18-year curriculum. 19, you start seeing your report card. So you need to if right now you've made certain mistakes and you said, okay, I'm not friends with my children, one of the things you want to do is call a meeting, right? This is an opportunity to express vulnerability. This is an opportunity because when people see that, oh, this person is vulnerable, this person is being honest with me, and this person genuinely loves me and want to, what has my best interest at heart, most times they would actually respond to that. They will respond to that energy. So you want to call them and first of all apologize to them. I know not a lot of parents, will feel right or good about this, but it's something you might need to do. Because a lot of parents have never apologized to their children before, because they just somehow feel like it is wrong to apologize to your children because you are the God and then they are your subjects. No, they are human beings, they're your children. You can apologize to them. You can be wrong, because that's what apology says. Apology says, I am wrong, and that's why I'm saying I'm apologizing about this. So when you apologize, you communicate to them part of the vulnerability we're talking about, that I can be wrong as well. I'm a human being. So you want to call them, apologize to them about how you have treated them, how you have related with them, how you have brought them up, how you have related with them in terms of rapport and being vulnerable, and let them know, okay, I want things to get better, right? I want things to change. So this is what I want us to do, start going forward. Okay, we would, we have one-on-one times, maybe once a week, where I will just gist with you, talk about things, and we'll share together. That's where you want to start from, right? You can't give up hope, especially if your children are still with you in the house. You can't give up. Chinese proverb says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So you can actually start from where you are, yeah, and do the much that you can and see how much you can salvage.
Hmm. Wow, see how much you can salvage. Don't give up. And that's the truth. You can start. Yes, you have not been their friends. Now they're big, they have grown up independent of you. Like I said, call them to a meeting, be vulnerable, accept that you were wrong and that you want to make things right. At first, they might not believe you. I wonder, what has daddy come up with now? What's mommy up to now? What are they trying to get from us? But as the day progresses, they will see your sincerity. Be ready to pay the price. Be patient. If you have not built it before, you want to build it now, it will take a little more time. but trust me, you can build it. But there's a question I need to ask you this. Somebody says, what if as parents, you didn't make any of those mistakes regards to the opposite sex, and you want to teach them about this thing? What can you do? Because yes, you didn't make those mistakes. You can't form up a story of what you didn't do. How then do you connect with them on this?
You can't lie. You definitely you can't lie. So you still have to be vulnerable with them and say, really, you didn't do this, and tell them what made you not to do it, the things you put
Mm,
in place. Because even though you can't tell me that you were not tempted, you can't tell me you didn't have temptations. You can't tell me if you say you didn't have temptations, there was something wrong with you then. So if you had temptations, if you had times where you thought about it, that can be learning points. Well, I didn't do it, but I had temptations. This almost happened, or that person told me about this. But what helped me was I did this and I did that. So then you're also drawing the lessons. Yeah. So you can always draw lessons from every, whether good experiences or bad experiences. But make sure that you are truthful, because people will know, children particularly know when you're saying the truth. Yeah. So if you didn't do it, your children will know that, oh, my mom didn't do this, and they would honestly connect with that and say, you know what, okay, let me also try not to do this. But then when you let them know, okay, fine, even though I didn't do it, I also had vulnerabilities. Because for some people, for instance, oh, they didn't have sex, but they watched pornography. Oh, they didn't have sex, but they masturbated. So what if, even if, let's say, you didn't even do any of them at all, but there was one guy you had a crush on. There's a girl you had a crush on. Those are learning points that you can always use. Anything at all that just makes you look human to your children is an opportunity to actually be vulnerable with them.
Anything at all that actually makes you look human. And that's very critical. Let them see that you are also human, that you can make mistakes. You have made mistakes. You might not have made mistakes with regards to sex. I've made mistakes with regards to classes, to schoolwork. Maybe you made mistakes concerning housework. Maybe you didn't even learn to cook when every other person was learning to cook, and they now feel the gap in you not being able to do some chores in the kitchen. Anything. You can build relationship from any of your true stories. Thank you so much, Miracle. I've got to let you go, but before I let you go, what are your final words to parents as we get into the holiday season?
Yes. So my final words would be, take everything that we've said and then begin to put them to use, because it's not what you know that matters. It is what you do with what you know that matters, and will create that change that you want. So take it one step at a time. Begin to maximize the holiday season, to build better family bond and the family of your dreams. Like I said earlier, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So start right now.
Wow, start right now. Thank you so much, Miracle. I truly appreciate your coming. And like I always say, the reward for good work is more work. So I'm coming back again sometime soon to bring you back on this program. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the week. Wow, that was so much to chew from. And thank you so much, Miracle. That was really hands-on things that you can do. And like he said in his closing shot, don't just learn, practice, be a doer, put these things to work, use them, practice them. Yes, I will bring him back for another edition. I'm going to be answering more questions with him. It's not what you know that matters, it's really what you do with what you know. It's not about knowledge, it's about putting it to work. It's so much to do in this holiday season. Remember, summer schools are up. Let them go to the summer school they want to go to. Let them learn the craft they want to learn. Let them do that fun thing they've always wanted to do that they could not do because of schoolwork. But in doing all of this, create time for them. Develop family culture. Maybe it's a weekend out. Maybe it's a games night, maybe it's a film night. Do something with them that they will get back to school and miss you and miss the holiday season and wish it holiday season never ended because of that thing you have started doing with them. If you haven't been friends before, you can start being friends with them now. Remember, it's all about what you do now that counts. Your tomorrow is crafted by what you do today. Yesterday is gone, like a songwriter says. Today is a new day. Start doing the right things now. And thank you, every single person, for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that will even watch thereafter. I do not take it for granted. And like I always say, please like the video, share it. Even if you are watching me on YouTube or on LinkedIn, please hop onto my YouTube channel and click the subscribe button and like it and share it. Let somebody out there know about the Knox to Nuggets community. And until I come your way next week in another edition of Knox to Nuggets, remember, if you can think it, you can be it. And yes, you can have it. And like I will always say, together we win. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Love you big. Bye for now.